Alright, welcome dear viewer to a type of video I make like twice a year. But anyway, the idea for this video came to me because I've always loved speedruns, and the speedrun for this game pretty much blows the game right open. It made the game go from like 6 hours to 2. So I started thinking to myself, what is the lowest possible amount of star points you can beat the game with? And that is exactly what I set out to do. And just as a heads up before you watch this video, I'm gonna be using a lot of speedrun tricks, and I'm not really the best at both executing or explaining them. So if you want to know more about these tricks, I would highly recommend looking up the names for them, because some of these have a really crazy history behind them. Alright, now with that out of the way, let's start the run. At the start of the game, we enter Rockford Harbor and face our first enemy, Lord Crump. Sadly, there's no real crazy trick to skip this battle, so we're forced to take our first 9 star points. And I'm gonna keep a little counter down here at the bottom to make it easier for you guys to keep track how many star points I've actually gathered. So after that amazingly hard tutorial battle, we enter Rockport proper, save, and turn off the game. Yeah, here I'm gonna introduce a trick that's gonna be used a few times in the run, called a super jump. To set it up, I'm gonna be loading a file in chapter 2 right before talking to Flurry's door. By using coops right before starting the cutscene, Mario enters a state where you started the jump but never finished the jump. On its own, this is pretty useless, because if you jump after activating the glitch, Mario just stays on the floor. However, if you gain some upwards momentum by walking up a step and then jump, Mario will actually start gaining infinite height. And here we're gonna use this trick to get the Ultra Hammer during the prologue. We just enter the super jump state, walk outside, die, load our original file, walk up Zesty step, and jump all the way to the Ultra Hammer chest. We grab it and then proceed to watch the tutorial where Toadette tells us it'll be the last time she sees us. So yeah, spoiler, it won't be. And I really have no idea what quest she's referring to. Like, I just got here to that. Can I get my bearings before starting this epic quest? After meeting Frankly, we enter Rockford Sewers. And this is usually where you face the Goomba trio. Now I could use a Fright Mask and only gain 1 star point, but I really don't like stinky star points. So, we're gonna use a glitch that's actually only possible on the English version. This little platform in the background doesn't move as far in the original Japanese version of the game, and that's exactly what we're gonna use to our advantage. By doing a very specific jump into it and then moving the control stick correctly, Mario can actually get pushed through the wall. Then we carefully walk over to the steps, jump up, and we're at the pipe, without gaining a single stinky star point. Right after getting the airplane curse, you can technically skip right to chapter 1 without gaining Sweet Treat. And we really don't need Sweet Treat, but after getting it, you also get the Power Smash badge from Frankly. And that's something we will absolutely need. Yeah, don't worry about that for now, you'll see why later. So after picking up our beautiful badge, we walk straight to the boss of the prologue, Blooper. Which, guess what? You can completely skip using a pretty famous glitch called the Hazard Respawn glitch. This glitch is more famously used in the Blue Pipe Room to open them up way before you're supposed to. To use this glitch, Mario has to enter a body of water without being on the floor for more than 1 frame. Doing this, the game doesn't have enough time to update Mario's spawn position, so Mario respawns in the exact middle of the room, which is convenient for us because the middle of the room is right at the edge of the platform where the pipe to chapter 1 is. Or well, where the pipe is supposed to be. Yeah, don't worry, it's right there. And with that, we enter chapter 1. Just in case you're wondering how things go in between points of interest, here's a little clip of how most screen navigation goes. As most of you know, in this chapter there's usually a few mini-bosses you fight in these little fortresses, but since they're really weak enemies, they're still susceptible to the Fright Mask, so we can easily get through these just gaining 1 star point. Is what I would say if you weren't able to skip them completely, entirely. Yes, that is a word, entirely. It's completely and entirely mashed together. It's a great word. I'm gonna use it always, forever. Entirely. Using a glitch called Goombella buffering, you're able to enter any loading zone without actually activating it. This works because you have a tiny frame window to actually walk forward before Goombella's text bubble pops up. So using this continually, you can walk right past the usual trigger of the loading zone. Then you very carefully walk around the seam of the room right to the other loading zone, and we can walk straight through the gate without having to do any battling. And then we do it again for the bristles. But sadly, inside the Schwank Fortress, our no star point streak comes to an end. But that doesn't mean we can't do anything about how many we get. When picking up the Sun and the Moonstone, you're forced to fight a few fuzzies, but since they're early game enemies, they're really susceptible to fright, about 95%. So, you know, they should run away pretty easily. So yeah, we gain 1 star point for each of these fuzzy battles. But before exiting the fortress, we're forced into another mini-boss, which is actually gonna use a pretty fun trick, so I guess it's fine. Usually when you face Gold Fuzzy, he calls forth a Fuzzy Horde, which will always drop star points. Even if you don't defeat it, defeating Gold Fuzzy will make the Horde retreat and still drop their star points. However, Gold Fuzzy only calls the Horde when he's below 8 HP. So, if we're able to get Gold Fuzzy from 8 HP to 0 HP in a single strike, he will never call the Horde and you won't get its star points. Which is exactly what we can do using the Ultra Hammer and Power Smash. We just attack him with Goombella, get him down to 8 HP, and then finish him with Mario. And boom, we skip the Horde star points. Which is still there after the battle for some reason. I don't know, maybe they just watched the battle. But then, inside of Hooktail Castle, we run into our fiercest foe yet. Some skeletons who really aren't scared easily. Yeah, these guys have a 10% susceptibility to fright, so we're here for a while. Really sucks that I can only carry 10 fright masks. To make it even worse, Redbones is completely immune to fright, so there's no way around picking up his 9 star points. There's really nothing else of interest throughout the entire castle. It's just a nice and easy star pointless walk to Hooktail, a boss I was so excited for I forgot to equip her weakness. Which honestly didn't really matter in the end, seeing I have the Ultra Hammer. It was, pretty broken at this point in the game. Yeah, it was just a nice and... I said it was a nice and smooth run to the... Yeah, okay. So it was a nice and smooth run, and we got 32 star points for being so good. And with this battle over with, we finished chapter 1 with a meager 65 star points. We haven't even gained a level. But sadly, most things aren't meant to last. In chapter 2, we face the Shadow Sirens, destroy them using some Mega Rush Peaches, and gain 36 star points for doing so. And with those, we get our first level up. We quickly pick up Flurry and head for the Great Tree, where we face 2 really brave guards, who leave us 1 star point to add to our total. And all the way at the top of the tree, we face another really brave guard, who also leaves us 1 star point. Oh, I actually forgot to mention, the only reason we're in this tree is to get the super boots. We don't really need anything else. They're pretty much the main tool we're gonna be using to break the game right open. Sadly, they're pretty far into the chapter, so in order to get them, we're gonna have to navigate a lot of the Great Tree, which turns out to be quite the pain in the butt. Exhibit A. We'll call him Jim. Jim is a jerk, although he does enjoy playing tag from time to time. But I don't, so Flurry Bloom in order to distract him. Exhibit B. Piters. Punies don't like Piters because they're racist, and I really can't do anything about that. I, however, am not racist, so we're in a bit of a conundrum here. I personally have nothing against them, but the Punies insist on running away from them, so I just had to come up with a plan. Distracting the Punies with my sick jumps, I was able to carry them across the bridge a few Punies at a time. And once I got enough of them across, I could just beat the jabs with a few less Punies at my disposal. We also broke Jim along the way. all in the name of acquiring fancy footwear. We jail the punies for obvious reasons, get our fancy shoes, and leave the tree, because I really don't care about the punies. Alrighty, now that's over with, we go to Rockford Sewers and use the combination of our super boots and ultra hammer in order to open up the blue pipes. Doing this, we're able to go straight to Partially Heights. And reading this note makes the game think we're all the way in chapter 6, essentially skipping like a kajillion star points. An astute viewer may ask,
"But fat guy, how are you going to get to the crystal star without the ultra boots sur retard?"
Yeah, remember the super jump? So we set up the super jump again. We pick up the Garden Star and then chapter 2, or 6, or whatever. After watching a very confusing Peach and Bowser interlude, Mario takes the train back to Rockford Station. I guess they just let us on the train for free, considering I never got the ticket. Now, listen up. Being on this higher platform is essential to the next glitch I'm gonna use. And it's pretty much one of the two holy grails of Paper Mario T2ID glitches. It was theorized for such a long time, then a way to do it was discovered, and here we are today. It is called the Blimp ticket skip. Before this glitch was discovered, there was not a single way to get to Glitzville without getting the Blimp ticket. The Blimp ticket can only be obtained in a very specific portion of the game, which, where the game considers us now, we're way past that point. Now, why does this matter when I try to avoid so much of the game? Well, because I actually need to pick up Yoshi for a glitch I'm gonna perform right at the end of the game. I know, it sucks. Okay. So for this glitch, we set up the super jump again, then we need to somehow get on the train tracks, because in this entire station area, it's the only place where Mario can get upwards momentum in order to do the super jump. Now, to get on the tracks, and I really wonder how people discovered this, we're gonna go into paper mode on a very specific spot right next to this fence. Paper mode makes your hitbox smaller, so that's why this works. And then you need to hold the control stick in a very specific position to then walk along the back of this fence and walk over the invisible wall. It was pretty hard, but once we're on the tracks, we can use it to jump over the invisible wall to where the pipe is and head straight to Glitzville. When we're in Glitzville, the game gets kinda confused. Since it's technically the first time we enter Glitzville, but we're in a post-Chapter 3 state, the game gets all out of whack. First of all, the bodyguard won't even let us in. To fix this, we just take the Blimp trip again. I don't know, man, it works. Now remember, we're here for Yoshi, so we'll only have to do all the required fights up to where you usually get Yoshi. Because the Glitzbit ranking and your story position are treated separately, so it just gives you Yoshi once you get to the Armored Harriers. Yeah, Glitzville is weird. Also, this bodyguard is bad at his job. Since we're technically in chapter 6, Jolene is running the Glitzbit. But then once we enter the arena and fight the Goomba Bros, it's actually Grubba in the cutscene. Because this is our first time fighting the Goomba Bros, and it uses the Grubba cutscene. I'm telling you, Glitzville is weird. So, since we're forced to battle up to rank 10, who's ready for some Fright Mask spam? Usually right before fighting the Armored Harriers, Kincaid disappears under mysterious circumstances. But with the whole story progression stuff being out of whack, Cleftor is just being really rude for no reason. Anyway, we walk up to the arena to fight the Armored Harriers. And by fight, I mean run away like pussies. And for being such a coward, we get our Yoshi friend. After which we can totally leave. I then do some slight community service for this guy. I really don't know who he is, but I give him a ring, he gives me a gold card. Hey, I can use this in the casino to get a few power rushes. Before moving on, Before moving on, we gotta make one more detour to pick up our good old friend Bjabber. Now you might be wondering to yourself, 1. Why do you need Bjabber? 2. How are you gonna get Bjabber? Stop asking questions, dang it. Any single character that will be used in a room at one point is stored far below the map when they're not in use. So to get Bobbery, we're gonna need to get far below the map ourselves to trigger the Ember Battle that spawns Bobbery in the tree. How do we get below the map? Well, you've seen this one before. We're gonna Goombella buffer past the loading zone, walk around the seam, carefully navigate to the middle of the room, and do some precise running to fall straight on the Ember below the map and trigger the battle. And again, this one really is harder than it seems. After scaring away the Embers, getting one more star point, we can hit the tree, and there's Bobbery. We run this little errand, and Bobbery joins our party. Though, before leaving the island, I felt like I had to pick up one more party member. Yeah, he'll be with us for a while. Okay, so now why did we need Bobbery? You might think it's to be able to talk to the Marion Far Outpost and start a whole canon quest. But no, that's not it. We're gonna get inside this teleporter room using, guess what? Another super jump. First, we're gonna use Bobbery to blow up this pillar, then we once again set up the super jump on our super jump file, and then use it to clip into the teleporter room. So yeah, I don't really know why this works, and I guess it doesn't really matter to me, but basically, by walking right for at least one frame, and then pressing A and opening up the menu on the same frame, Mario will continue gaining height while the menu is up when you have the super jump active. You have to then unpause at a very specific point, and Mario will clip into the building because of a slight slant of the wall. If you unpause too late, Mario will be on the roof, and if you unpause too early, you won't clip into the room. So it's kinda tough. But once you get it, you can open up the room from the inside and then teleport straight to the moon. Once we're there, we're technically not in Chapter 7, but we can fix this by reading this note in the locker room, which then for some reason makes the game consider us to be in Chapter 7. After this, you can just play the chapter like normal. You collect some stuff and bada bing bada boom, you're in the room before Magnus. But oh no, we don't have Vivian. So how are we gonna get past this wall? Yeah, this glitch is actually surprisingly easy. All you have to do is get hit by a first strike right when Mario is slipping through these bars. Then you just run away from the battle and you're inside a wall. And I'm serious, this one is really easy. Now all we have to do is finish up the room and fight Magnus, who gives us 41 more star points. We collect our crystal star and it's already time for Chapter 8. So yeah, we're at the final stretch. We're halfway to level 3. However, the final chapter is kind of filled with a lot of bosses and a lot of star points. And it's gonna be quite a bit of work to avoid all those. Our first obstacle actually isn't battle-based. In usual gameplay, you use either Vivian, or if you're feeling a bit more fancy, you can also use Tube mode to skip these. But as you may have noticed, I don't have either of those options. We're actually gonna abuse the invisibility frame system after you run away from a battle. All we have to do is set up coops so you can first strike the Phantom Ember, jump past the first 2 fire bars, release coops, run away from the Phantom Ember, and then we can just walk past the rest of the fire bars. Easy peasy. I want to warn you, because the upcoming footage really isn't for the faint of heart. It is quite disturbing. You ready? So here's Darkbones. Him and his friends are immune to fright. Yes, immune. So guess what that means? We have to defeat all of them. And no, defeating them is not the problem. The problem is that I have to defeat them. Because considering we're such a low level, these guys drop an insane amount of star points. And by insane, I mean the actual max. So yeah, the only way past this battle is picking up an entire level up worth of star points. We're almost doubling our total. This is truly the saddest part of the run. But the only thing we can do is take it and carry with us the horrible stench of level ups. And after that horrible experience, it is time for the most insane trick in this run. I can't stress this enough. Fuck this trick. Boing. Its discovery was pretty infamous in the Paper Mario Speedrunning community. This trick was dubbed palace skip. Aside from saving time in the normal speedrun, for the sake of our run, it skips the 4 bones in the Riddle Tower, Gloomtail, and the Shadow Sirens. This trick is so insane. I'm actually not even gonna try to explain it. If you want to know how it works in full detail, I would highly recommend looking up a video on Palace Skip. It's just insane. But anyway, here's my quickfire on how the trick goes. We gotta battle this single Phantom member and make sure he drops an item. Then we delayed Goombella buffer into the item, in a place we make sure we can still encounter the other Phantom member in the room. Doing this, you can encounter the Phantom member while Goombella's tech bubble is open. We then run away from the battle, go to the corner of the room, push Yoshi through the wall, then slowly ferry over Yoshi to the middle of the room while he continues to stay out of bounds inside the wall, walk all the way over to the Phantom member, exit paper mode, immediately use an item on Yoshi so he gets out of paper mode faster, open the menu again, close Goombella's text box, and then use Yoshi while he's falling, which makes Mario teleport to Yoshi's position, and then proceed to encounter the Phantom member while Mario is out of bounds, so you can run away and then fall on the loading zone that's always loaded under the map. Got it? Good. Doing this trick gives us 13 star points for defeating the Phantom member, but that's entirely worth it, seeing how much other stuff it skips. After entering the loading zone, we can pick up a key, which pretty much sets our story progression to the end of the chapter. As you can see, when you exit the room, it looks completely different. And this is it. We only have a few more battles in the way. No more crazy tricks, no more skips, just a few boss battles. Wrecking Grotus gives us 42 more star points. Wrecking Bowser and Cammy gives us 54 more star points. And then, it's on to the Shadow Queen. The battle itself really isn't that hard, seeing that I bought Infinity Power Rushes, but the invincibility phase can be a bit butt-clenchy. After a real long cutscene, it's pretty much a power rush to the end, and we get our final star points, making our total 364 star points. But anyway, we get the girl, we get the treasure, I don't know who this is, and then we gaze at our true final reward. It truly is a stunning view this morning. Man, that sure was a video. Took a while to make, and honestly it was pretty fun to make. I do want to say there is probably a pretty high chance this run isn't optimal, because I pretty much, well, I wouldn't say went off memory, but I used and looked up tricks I knew about, which means there still is a decently high chance there's room for optimization. For example, I do know the Japanese version of the game has a few more / different tricks, and you're able to skip a few more star points this way. There's like a different way to get into the teleporter room. I don't know, I don't have a Japanese version of the game, so it doesn't really matter. Though, I wouldn't really recommend just anybody trying to improve or optimize this run. Like, the tricks are, well, some of the tricks are hard. Like, my purpose wasn't, I'm really good, I'm gonna do these tricks. It was more like, I want to find out the answer to this ridiculous question. Which I did. But again, I think it would be interesting to see other people improve this. Because I'm definitely not doing this again. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. So like the video, I guess, if you liked the video. I mean, thanks. I usually don't ask for likes. But, yeah. Thanks for watching. Bye. Mwah.